Hello, everybody. Got a super cool video for you today. This is my 1000th video, and it started with a Facebook comment about Walmart closings, and so I've got a little short read on it, and I'm gonna let you listen to a phone call that I recorded between myself and a oilfield landman here, and you're gonna find this super interesting. Anyways, a woman named Kimberly Peters wrote me. She said, "Hey, buddy," she said, "I'm not sure if you saw my two posts. I put your name on there to catch your attention. It's about Walmart's closings, and Midland was one of the stores talked about because plumbing issues that required police and military presence. Found another video 6 years ago on YouTube of Midland Walmart closed underground tunnels, question mark, question mark, okay." And I replied back and I said, "I don't remember seeing your post, but I'm familiar with the Walmart closings. As you stated, in 2015, Walmart mysteriously and suddenly closed 5 stores across the nation for supposed plumbing problems. Hundreds of employees were sent home from these money-making stores that then sat there empty with the windows covered up because they didn't have work permits. It was the same time as when the Jade Helm was going on. There was widespread rumors of tunnels and conspiracies because of this. And obviously there was more to this story than the public was ever told. One of those stores that was shut down was the North Walmart in Midland, which is about a half mile from my home. There was only 5 in the nation. And since I had reported a suspected tunnel here in 2011 and was then ambushed and shot by somebody under my home in 2012, I got a whole lot of views on my videos because of the story back then. Okay. I was told about $1 million underground safe house project that was completed in 1987 for then Vice President George H.W. Bush, which is believed to be 4 3-bedroom $1 million underground homes. One of these homes is believed to be in my backyard, and based on evidence found, I believe that 2 others are located by other nearby homes, but that still leaves 1 other, and maybe it's over by that Walmart. It's believed these underground homes were hosting parties for the Permian Basin International Oil Show, and where a young girl was murdered at in 2010 for refusing to prostitute. One night I got a call from an oilfield landman named Keith Turman, and he told me the story about how he was told to not look for minerals over by that Walmart store, but he did anyway. Instead, he found something underground on the seismic surveys. After this happened, his partner pulled a gun on him, and he was then framed and arrested by secret police April Chandler. He said there was another officer there named Williams from my hometown of Hobbs, New Mexico. After he was released, Keith hired a private investigator who found that Chandler was getting large sums of money, like $50,000 at a time, and he suspected that she was taking bribes for her assistance in covering up the crimes here. I secretly recorded Keith telling me this so you can hear it for yourself, okay? And I'm going to let you listen to that now.
Just what...
Can I see why I'm calling you real quick?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So, I was arrested for aggravated assault. You were correct, but I was framed. I was arrested by a police officer named April Chandler.
Okay, I'm very familiar with her, right?
I've never met her before, but I was doing land work with a co-worker. We got more or less an argument, and he told my identity and pretty much tried to falsify documents in my name. And so when I confronted him, he pulled a gun on me, so I left. And the next thing I know, I'm being arrested by April Chandler and Detective Williams.
Williams, is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that.
Well, he's from Hobbs.
Really?
Because I've been to your Facebook. I don't want to make you freak you out or anything, but
No, many people. I've had 2 million views on videos. I just let you talk about April Chandler. You know my story about her, right?
right. And so, while I was in jail, the county jail, I had a friend tell me that, people were emailing you with my name, Keith Turman.
Right.
And that's impossible if I'm in county jail.
They had your password.
Right. So now, I've got to figure out some way to fight this. So I hired a private PI, and he did a background check on her. And he found paperwork on her that shows that she's receiving large amounts of money.
That makes lots of sense, because I felt like she's on the tape.
But a local cop doesn't get some of the payment of like $50,000 at a time.
Right. Well, I mean, there's something big going down here with the, you know, I've always suspected human trafficking. I've had multiple people tell me there's an underground facility near this home. I believe it's connected to the death of the last homeowner, Mike Lawhon. He died 2 weeks before I moved into this home. And then, like I said, I have absolute proof, without a doubt, April Chandler lied on the police reports.
I think there's one under the North Walmart too. And that's where I was doing land work there. And the minute I started trying to lease that out for drilling, for royalties, that's when all this stuff happened to me. I was told to stay away from it, and I didn't.
2010, I was dating a woman that I worked in the same building as me in Clay Desta, and she told me about this young girl being murdered at an old show party. Okay.
Haley Dunn.
Huh? No, Haley Dunn's a whole different story. Okay, and I'll tell you the Haley Dunn in a minute, but she said a girl was murdered at the old show party for refusing to prostitute. And I was dating this woman at the time. I mean, when she'd get off work, we'd come to my house, and she would leave here and then go to this wherever the party was, and it was 5 minutes away. I have reason to believe it's in the underground facility I was told that is near my home. I was told it's a half block from my home. One person said it was 4 3-bedroom homes that each costing over $1 million, 25 foot deep. Okay, I've got that recorded on a phone call. But multiple people have told me underground facility. Anyway, that's where I believe this young girl was murdered at for refusing to prostitute. So there's my other connection with Landman. Okay?
Yes, everybody that.
Huh? And there's one more Landman. Let me throw his name out there. Okay, I met him at a park right here in my neighborhood. And then he just acted.
I want to show you here's a print screen of Google Maps, and I want to show you how close it is. This is the Home Depot store. I live right behind it, and just right on the other side of the loop is the Walmart store. Okay, like I said, it's about a half mile as the crow flies there, and and so rumors of tunnels at Walmart over there, of course, lead back into what happened at my house, and I want to show you some other stuff here. Okay, here's just the internet story. This is Business Insider. Walmart mysteriously closed 5 stores. Some people have a wacky conspiracy theory. If more than one person commits a crime, then it's a wacky conspiracy theory, because that's the concept here. Anybody more than 2 people commit a crime, then it's conspiracy, and then it's wacky, right? Because it's not possible for more than 2 people to commit a crime. Now, that's that whole conspiracy thing. Oh, it's a conspiracy nut because he thinks 2 people were involved in a crime, and everybody knows all crimes are committed by one person. And I sit here and go, all gangs are conspiracies. The cartels are conspiracies. 911 was a conspiracy. Watergate was a conspiracy. The crucifixion of Christ was a conspiracy. But if you mention a conspiracy, oh, you're a nut. That's what it says, and that's what they did here. And that's what's going on. This retailer said it's closed stores in California, Texas, Oklahoma, and Florida because of persistent plumbing problems. Right. But they didn't have any plumbing permits, work permits. And see, I compared that, I worked in the gas business, and we shut down a gas plant that's making millions of dollars, and we didn't order pipe. No, that you don't do that, right? You don't shut down $1 million money making stores and you don't have your permits to work on the store. Something fishy was going on. They lied. That's all there is to it. And that's what's caused all the conspiracy theories, but when you go through here, you'll see here, see if I can find it. I'm looking for it real quick, where it talks about the tunnels. It's in here, but anyways, it's definitely was out there on the internet. Lots of people were suspecting tunnels. This is Google Maps. There's my home. Right behind my home is the Home Depot store. I've showed that many times here, and I'll show you here. Okay, there I am right there. There's my home. There's a Home Depot store. I'll just scroll this down a little bit. Walmart's right up there. Okay, so that's telling you how close it is from my home over to Walmart. It's like a half mile away. And And the last thing I want to do when I close this out is talk about April Chandler, because, you know, that was mentioned by Keith on that phone call. And that was one of the secret police there, okay? So I'm going to show you here April Chandler, one of the 11 secret police that, you know, that was identified in the pictures. And here, I found this in one of the newspapers, where her husband, Michael Chandler, pins a badge on her. So she was a rookie when I was ambushed and shot, you know, about 6 months before I was ambushed and shot, okay? And her husband's a police officer too. And he was actually on my first call for people in the attic at my house, you know. This is the police report showing that Chandler, when she was dispatched. Now, keep in mind, I didn't get the police report for 7 years. It was illegally withheld from me. But now I know that Chandler, you know, was dispatched. For the longest time, I said I didn't have a police report, which I didn't have it because they were illegally withholding it and I didn't know it. But she was the very first person dispatched. You know, April Chandler is a main player in the murder attempt on my life. And, you know, absolutely, you know. So she was dispatched to there. But what's interesting, I saw in the police reports that Rosie Rodriguez had climbed in my truck at the 7-Eleven and started giving me first aid, you know, and introduced herself. And I didn't know at that time, I didn't find out for 2 years that she was a lifelong friend with the ex-wife I'd filed divorce on 5 days earlier, you know, but I didn't know that at the time. Actually, I thought she was a good cop. I was excited to see police there. I thought they were going to stop the crimes, not knowing they were involved in the crimes. But anyways, after I get the police reports, I find out Rosie Rodriguez said she wasn't even there. She lied, and April Chandler said she climbed in my truck. One of them's a blonde, the other's a brunette. You know, both of them lied right off the bat about who climbed in my truck at the 7-Eleven, right off the bat. And then I saw this is emergency room detention form by April Chandler, okay? And that's who we're talking about right now. Signed at 11:03. I had called out at 10:42, okay, just minutes earlier. And here's what she wrote. This is what Chandler wrote. She said, Mr. Webb showed paranoia to the extent that he shot. See, she started to write shot and scribbled it out. SH scribbled out. He caused himself to suffer a gunshot wound to the ankle. Okay, and you know, and so here, absolute proof shows I wasn't shot with my gun, and she knew that, you know, and so she started to write that I shot myself, but knew that was a bold-faced lie, and she scribbled it out, right? And then she changed her wording to say he caused himself. Mr. Webb was home minding his own business, and that's why he caused himself to suffer a gunshot wound, because he had reported crime to us, and we were involved in committing the crimes, you know, and that's really what it was, you know. I just wanted to show you that, you know, she's blaming me for criminals breaking in my home and shooting me by surprise, cutting my phone lines and shooting me by surprise. These were some of the secret police pictures, and like I said, it, you know, we could tell it was April Chandler because her picture was clear enough, you know. So I mean, she was one of the 11 secret police that were identified before the private investigator, you know, collected the reward money, because we knew who she was because we could see her, but I didn't have the police report, you know. So here she is, and it's time stamped 3:45 a.m. With the bun on her head. Here she is, and she's got her hand in the booty bag. That's where there's still in evidence, you know. And remember, they were hiding the police report. They were like, supposedly nobody was ever going to find out these police were in my home on this night. They hid that police report for 7 years, you know. They were staging the crime scene and still in evidence of this capital murder attempt. And then a big deal with April Chandler is having the voice recorder, you know. And so you follow the trail for the voice recorder. At the hospital, the nurse documented me at 12:03, telling, you know, Detective Rodriguez that there's proof at my house. Go look, there's a proof. It's a voice recorder that was recording the burglar alarms going off. April Chandler said on her narrative that she found my voice recorder and it was checked in along with 222 guns. Matt Davis checked in the 222 guns, but he didn't check in the voice recorder. And I recently did a video where Matt Davis wrote me on YouTube and braggingly told me, I stole the evidence, buddy, and nobody's ever going to find out. And he was talking about the voice recorder that April Chandler had found. She had found my voice recorder, the proof. I'm at the hospital going, proof's at my house, proof's at my house, proof of a premeditated capital attempted murder I tell the police about, and they went and stole the proof. April Chandler's the one that found it, said it was checked into evidence, and that was a bold-faced lie. Actually, she gave it to Matt Davis. It looks like Matt Davis stole the proof, you know. Dirty. I mean, you don't get more dirty than these cops right here. A couple years later, you know, or a few years later, I send a request in the city of Midland, and and I said, because I knew that Chandler said that that voice recorder was checked in evidence and it wasn't in the evidence logs, so I wrote the city of Midland and says, let me see the voice recorder. And what they did is they went and scribbled out one piece of evidence and hand wrote in voice recorder. I kid you not, took a couple years later, and it was end up checked in here by April Chandler. I want to show you that was probably 2 years after the fact, and only because I had made a point of the police stealing evidence in a capital murder attempt. Okay, Mad Davis, here's another, the other guy here, right, the sergeant that quit. I did a recent video about him. He had my keys to my house. I figure he was involved in covering up the underground tunnel when they poured the concrete and all that. And then the shotgun shells, right, because I recognized that there wasn't an empty shotgun shell in my gun, right? It wasn't in evidence, and if I was shot with my gun, then it would have been there, and the CSI that picked up my gun did not check in an empty shotgun shell. I made a point of it, so they come in after the fact, hand wrote it in, dirty, dirty, dirty. They're like, we're going to come to your home and murder you. What are you going to do about it? That's literally how it is here in Midland, right? And this one here is the stolen my stolen cell phone. Before I'm ambushed and shot, my cell phone was stolen and my home phone lines were disconnected, and then they shot me from point blank range directly in the artery. I was supposed to die because I didn't have any communication. That's why I crawled out, because I had no way to contact anybody. That was forced me to crawl out, okay? Well, while I'm in the hospital, the police accidentally started that camera and caught themselves staging the crime scene, right? And this is Rosa Rodriguez and April Chandler. And this picture shows Rosa Rodriguez leaned over my nightstand. That's where my cell phone had been planted. I found it planted there when I got back from the hospital 10 days later. And what it looked like, based on the timestamps, that Chandler and Rodriguez waited for the other police to leave my bedroom, and so they're all gone, and then they went over and planted that cell phone behind there, my stolen cell phone. It was stolen before I shot. It looks like police shot me. Now it's known that police were under my home. It's also known there was a trapped burglar in my guest bathroom, and it's been speculated that maybe police under my home shot me because of that burglar, because if they arrested the burglar like they should have done, then it would expose the underground homes, the crimes, and the murders, and so they decided to kill me. That's not known. The other part of this was Rosa Rodriguez. She makes up a lie and puts it on the police report and said Buddy said his phone wasn't charged, and Buddy never said that. But actually my cordless phone that I had in my pocket, I had my cordless because my cell phone was stolen, was fully charged, and that was because it sat on the charger all the time. Okay, so she made up this lie knowing that my cell phone was stolen, and then they went and planted it with April Chandler. Okay, I just want to show you that. And then about 48 hours after this premeditated capital attempted murder, April Chandler makes this a permanent remark on the police reports and diagnoses me as a paranoid schizophrenic, like she's a doctor or whatever. Right? I haven't been diagnosed with that. I don't have that disease. I was the victim of a home invasion, capital attempted murder. I'm the crippled victim of a violent crime, and she destroyed my life with them lies. Called me a schizophrenic, made that up, and attached that to my name. So every policeman since then looks at that and they go, oh, Buddy's a schizophrenic. No, Buddy's not. April Chandler is a liar. And, and she's involved in a premeditated capital attempted murder. And also down here, you see where Rosie Rodriguez personally called the mental hospital, tried to have me committed. See, that was why they're over there planting that evidence and covering up this murder attempt. But here at the hospital, the doctors, I was cleared by mental health, because they're sitting there spreading all these lies about me, saying, oh, he's crazy, he shot himself, he thinks people in the attic. Now we got 50 other homeowners reporting people in the attic all across the nation. People are in the attic.